JJ's Homemaker and Lifestyle. Today we're making bread. Now then, I had somebody in my comments suggest or recommend someone who they follow and they make their recipes off YouTube. Now I've looked and for the life of me I cannot find this comment and the recommendation, so I do apologise, and if you are able to, please pop in the comments. Here it is, and I would love to make their bread. But for now, I'm going to make my sister's recipe, which I took a picture of on out of my mum's recipe book, and I shall be popping it into my recipe book. But at the moment, it's off my phone, and it's Amanda's lovely homemade bread, and apparently it's really easy. The ingredients is what you would expect in a loaf of bread, but the method is nothing like you would expect. So this will be interesting, and I'll be really interested to see if it works. Now, as some of you know from previous vlogs, I have mentioned before, I'm not brilliant at making bread. I have made the most amazing loaf of bread once, and then another time it can be absolutely terrible. So fingers crossed this one is a good one. Now I've got the ingredients here. I will show you. Now I've got 2.5 cups of warm water, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 1 dessert spoon of salt. I'm going to be using 2 tablespoons of oil. I should be using olive oil. And I've got 6 cups of plain, well, it says 6 cups of plain flour. I'd only got 4 cups of plain flour. So I've got 2 cups of Spelt wholemeal flour. So hopefully that still works the same. And 2 packets of yeast. Now, each packet of yeast should be around 7 ounces. I'm using it out of a little tin, easy bake yeast, so I have used 14 ounces of that yeast, which is equivalent to 2 packets of yeast. Now for making bread. Now I will have to keep referring back to my notes because I've never made it before and I've only read it the once, so you'll have to bear with me whilst I do read through. Now it says put the water, sugar, salt and yeast and the oil and half of the flour into the large mixing bowl. So, and then it says beat vigorously. So normally you would put your warm water, your sugar and your yeast and let it ferment, but you don't. I'm going to put most of the white flour in because it is supposed to be white flour, so it might act differently. So that's what I'm going to do. So let's crack on and do that. So, just 1 second. Put the water, so we'll put the water in there. I'm going to use my mixing bowl here. Now, I'm going to, when I beat it, I'm going to use the dough hook. Whether that's the right one to use, I'm not sure, to actually beat it, but that's what I'm going to use. So I will pop that on now, actually, so it's on ready. Oh, that was a bit stiff. There, that's on. Right then, so water, sugar, yeast, and it does say salt. Now I know that salt kills yeast, so I'm not going to put the salt in first. I'm going to put some flour in first. It smells beautiful already. I love the smell of bread. And it smells like bread already. So that I would say is half the flour. Now I shall sprinkle the salt. So that is all the ingredients that needs to be in there. And then I'm just going to pop that on here. Put this down and it says beat vigorously. So let's add the rest of the flour. We'll just add that first. And and I'll just keep adding like this. Oh, it says add the rest with a wooden spoon, doesn't it? Just take this off and then add the rest of the flour. And then you just fold or mix the flour in with a wooden spoon. It's warm, I can still feel the warmth. Do you know what? I'm going to use this dough hook because I don't think it will make much difference really. Now let's put it back on here. We're using the dough hook. Now let's have another look at little read what it says. So we've beat vigorously, add remaining flour, mix well. It does say with a wooden spoon, but it was a bit hard to beat with stir with a wooden spoon, hence why I've put the dough hook in and just stirred it with that. Rest for 5-minute intervals, so 5 minutes. Oh sorry, 5-10 minute intervals. So 10. Hey Google, set timer for 10 minutes.
Sure, 10 minutes. And we're starting now.
Let's do it exact. So, hey Google, set timer for 5 consecutive 10 minutes. Can't do that. I thought it might be able to do it, but it can't. Never mind. So I just need to write down how many 10 minutes it's had. Let me get a pen. That's alright. So 1. It's had 1. Always having 1. And then you beat down again. So you leave it, beat down again. And then into trays or tins, you leave in a warm place to rise covered for 30 minutes. Oh. It says please turn over. I've not got the rest of oh dear, I didn't turn over and have another look. Right, need to ring Mum, see what was on the next page. Bear with me, just a minute, let's have a look. Hello Mum, are you downstairs?
Hello?
Are you downstairs?
No.
Oh, okay then, it's alright. I'm making Amanda's lovely bread out of your recipe book. I've got to the end and it says please turn over. I didn't turn over and take a picture of the other page. Alright, would you mind? Thank you very much, it'd be appreciated. Alright. Alright, thank you. Bye, bye. Oh, that's funny. Fancy doing that. How silly. Never mind. So, I know I've got to beat it every 10 minutes, 5 times. So, that I do know. And then I've got to leave it for half an hour. So, by that time, my mum will be downstairs and she'll be able to send me a picture. Right, silly me. Just got to wait now. I think now might make me and Ade a little bit of breakfast. Got up well, I got up early this morning. Ade's working anyway. So I might make us a little bit of breakfast. I have got to make some more granola as well because we've run out. We do like the granola. In fact, in the evenings, if you like a little snack, and we tend to just have like a yogurt and a piece of fruit. So I have been having a little bit of granola on top of my yogurt in the evening and it makes a lovely dessert. It feels like a really nice treat. We are trying to be good, staying off the chocolate and the cakes. So as I say, we have like a fat-free yogurt and a piece of fruit, but I have been having a sprinkle of granola on mine and it's lovely. Right then, let's go see if Ade wants breakfast yet. He might want to wait for his break, in which case then we can have it together. So let me go and ask him. So it's had the 10 minutes rest and now I've just got to beat it again and then leave it for another 10 minutes. So it's on its second beat now. Hey Google, set timer for 10 minutes.
Wait, 10 minutes.
So now we're leaving it for another 10 minutes. So I'm going to use that one and that one because there'll be too much dough. So that needs to be just under half full and that needs to be just under half full, and then you leave them to rise. So I can, because there'll be too much dough just for that one tin. So I'm going to give them a spray of oil, maybe a dusting of flour as well. And then once this is at its other two mixes, which is there's 4 minutes left on that timer, then we can pop the dough in to rise. Mum. Hello.
Hello. It wasn't actually. Please turn it over. It was on the opposite page.
Oh, was
And
it?
it says, covered with a wet tea towel.
Oh, is that it?
Yes, and bake 20 to 30 minutes on 200-ish.
Right. Would you just take a picture of it for? Oh, I'll write it down. Just a minute.
That's not what's there now.
No, there isn't. Just send me a picture of it, Mum, please. I'll remember it. It's just for future reference, really. And then I can just write it down when I write the ingredients down.
Well, I took a picture of it. I'll send it you then.
Thank you very much. Alright then, I shall let you know how it turns out.
Yes, do.
Have you made it before?
I can't remember. I remember Amanda making it and a bit.
Do
It
ya?
was very nice, yeah.
Right, well, I'm doing
Anyway,
it.
cover it with a wet tea towel.
A wet tea towel. Alright then. Okie dokie.
Bake at 200-ish. I'll send you this.
Alright, thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
So, I don't know if you heard that. All it was cover with a wet towel and bake on 200-ish for Celsius, I'm assuming, for approximately, I think she says 30 minutes, but she's sending me a picture anyway. So that one's oiled. I've just got to dust it with some flour. I'm just finishing oiling the other one. I'm doing it over the sink because I don't want oil everywhere, because I'm spraying it with my sprayer, which is, may I add, brilliant. So they are both prepared now and ready for the dough going in when it's done. I just really hope it works with this wholemeal spelt flouring. I know it would be nice because, well, I love wholemeal spelt flour, so this will be like a best of both loaf, really. It will have half white and half brown. I just hope that it does work the same. It shouldn't make any difference, I don't think, but I'm not sure. I can't wait. I really hope it works out. Do you know, if it doesn't work, I'll be so tempted to go and try and get some fresh yeast from probably Holland and Barrett. And as I say, if they don't have it, I'll go to the bakery, because our Tesco's has its own bakery as well, so I could probably pop in there and hopefully get some. If they use it, there's a possibility they may just use now dry yeast, but I know a few years ago I did ask them and they did give me some, so hopefully they still use it, but there's a possibility they might not, so we'll see how this turns out. In fact, I might do it anyway and make another loaf with it, make some nice little rolls, and do that meal with the belly pork again with the stuffing and apple sauce. That'd be nice on homemade rolls. So this is still warm, so that's nice. Oh, it's stuck. So there you go, that's the dough, and I'm now going to divide it between these two bowls, these two tins. Here's the tins. Right, so I'll just put that back in there. I think that's all I need for here. for here. Right, so here they are. Here they are, look, and I'm going to put them on here to rise. Near the radiator, not too close, and then I'm just going to get a wet cloth to put over the top. I am just going to put this on here because I don't want my wet cloth touching the wood. So let's put that on there like that, that on there like that, and now we're going to cover with this cloth. There we go. So that now just needs half an hour to prove. Like I say, my bread really is hit and miss, so fingers crossed this rises. Do you know, I'm a little bit sceptical, I must be honest, but we'll give it a go. Okay, even if it does, well, let's just give it 30 minutes and we'll see. I took a picture of before so I can refer back to what it was, and once it's had its 30 minutes. Now, it should have at least risen to the top, if not over. So I really hope it does. So let's hope it does. So everybody keep your fingers crossed for me, please. And please don't forget, if you've got any good bread recipes, like non-fail recipes at all, please put in the comments below and I would give it a go. And also, if you do know have any ideas where you could get fresh yeast from, also that would be brilliant. There actually is a brewery just 4 miles up the road from Skegness. I bet they would use fresh yeast. Might be worth asking them. I could always give them a call or drop them an email. So yeah, tell me what you think below. Right, now it's finished. It's had an hour because it needed half an hour longer because it's got spelt in it, spelt flour in it. So apparently with a mix of spelt and ordinary flour, it doesn't rise to the same capacity. So it doesn't look very risen at all, but apparently it rises in the oven, and that's called the oven spring. How true that is, I don't know. Again, this might be a complete disaster, but we're going to put it in the oven now because it can't have any longer than the hour, and it has had an hour. So I'm going to pop them in the oven now. So fingers crossed that it does rise in the oven because it hasn't risen very much in the tins. I will show you. I'm just going to pop them in the kitchen first on the counter, and then I'll show you before I put them in the oven. Now, if I'm being honest with you, that's hardly risen at all, but to the touch it feels cold, so I'm just wondering if maybe it wasn't warm enough where it was proving. It was near a radiator, but even so, we're going to pop it in the oven now and see what happens. So fingers crossed. It's on 180, which is what it needs to be on. I'm just going to pop them in now. Hopefully it will rise. Now, the long thin one needs about 20 to 30 minutes, and the large one needs about between 30 and 40 minutes. It needs a bit longer. So it's on the right temperature, and we're just going to leave it now and see what happens. So we'll be back in 10 minutes to see if it's risen. Oh, I can't say it's going to work myself, but you never know, miracles sometimes happen. I think I should give bread a miss. Stick to cakes. Right, now the large loaf looks like it's rising. The long loaf isn't rising much. Let me show you, see if you can see it through the door. You can't really see because of the reflection, but you can just see the large loaf coming to the top, but that one doesn't look like it's doing much at all, really. I'm back in 10 minutes and have another look. And then we'll try it with a bit of butter. Probably be awful. So, that's it. It's a little bit like a rock. We're going to check this one as well. This does look nice. It's very heavy. Not sure if that's a good sign or not. No, it's not hot enough, so I'm going to put that back in. It feels hard. But this one should be done. Looks nice underneath, look. It's just not very big. So it'll probably be really heavy. I'm going to let it cool down slightly first. Shall I just break a bit off? Just break a little bit off. This bit on the end. It smells like bread. So let's try it with a little bit of butter. And then see what it's like. It's nice, but I think, well, the butter's not even soaking in it, so that shows you how dense it is. I don't mean this in, right, it tastes almost a little soapy, I think. Doesn't taste as bready as I'd like, but I don't know. I'm going to let it cool down for 5 minutes and then I shall slice it and we'll have it with a bit of butter and I'll let Abbe try it and then I'll try it again as well. A bit softer, but this crusty bit, I quite like it. It is just quite dense. The soapy taste, I'm not sure if it's soapy or if it's the yeast. I'm not sure. So anyway, I shall slice it once it's cooled down. But this is quite nice, I quite like it actually. Now, I have just asked again, ChatGPT, about it tasting slightly soapy. It doesn't taste of soap, it's not a nasty taste, it's just like a little hint that I'm not sure is supposed to be there or not, but it's perfectly okay. But it normally happens when the loaf is slightly dense. That is definitely a dense loaf, so that's probably why. But there's nothing wrong with it, and like I say, it's not a nasty taste. I still actually quite like the taste of it, but I'm still going to let it cool down and then take some to Ade, see what he thinks, and we'll have that with a bit of cheese maybe. But I quite like it. But like I say, it's just got this little tiny hint, but it's not nasty, and that's why. It can mean either the dough is a bit dry, the loaf is dense, or it's tasted warm. Okay, so maybe if I let it cool down, it won't taste like that. Oh, okay, I didn't read it all. So yeah, it could be because it's too warm, and I have only just taken it out of the oven. So we'll leave it there to cool. And for now, in the meantime, another 5 minutes, the large loaf will be done as well. That is quite large. That will be okay for slicing. So I'm going to take that out when it's done and just leave that to cool completely. This one we're going to have warm but not hot. So yeah, we'll leave that for another 5 minutes. And that is the other loaf, which looks okay. Let's take it out, shall we? And give it a knock. Right, just a minute. Yeah, that I think is done. So that is that. Look at that, I'm really pleased with that one. So I'm going to hold it like this, and this will be my thumbnail. There. So that is done. So I'm just going to wait for this other one to cool down. This one is going to be left like that to completely cool. That can be sliced once that's cooled down. There we go, look at that, looks lovely. Well, Ade's opinion on the bread was nice but a little bit heavy, and that's the same as mine. It was very nice, it was quite tasty actually, but it was a bit heavy, you don't need much of it. I think this larger loaf would be nice when it's completely cooled and maybe sliced and even toasted. I think that would be really nice. But that's still cooling down, and oh, we've had enough for today. It is quite filling, I think, because it's so dense. But I wouldn't say it is a complete failure, but I wouldn't want to give it to anybody particularly. So I'd say it's a semi-failure. But maybe next time it'll be a little bit better. So that's it. That's today's vlog. I hope you enjoyed that. I can't say hope you try it because I wouldn't recommend you try that recipe. Or maybe it might work better for you, or maybe it would work better if you just use plain white flour. Who knows? Anyway, it's done. It was nice. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next week. Bye!